Taipei, Taiwan, November 12, 1983. Saturday evening, 6:30 p.m. The International Martial Arts Gala has just concluded. 2,000 spectators are filing out of the Taipei Municipal Gymnasium, still energized by 3 days of competition. But the real story of this evening will not happen on stage. It will happen in a cramped backstage corridor, witnessed by fewer than 30 people, involving two figures from completely different eras of martial arts cinema. The backstage area is a maze of temporary dressing rooms and narrow hallways. Fluorescent lights hum overhead. The air smells of liniment oil and sweat. Performers are changing out of uniforms, wrapping weapons, packing bags. Conversations happen in Mandarin, Cantonese, Japanese, Korean, martial artists from different schools mixing in this temporary space. In one corner sits Angela Mao, 37 years old, wearing a simple black training suit, 5 feet 2 inches, 105 pounds, but everyone backstage knows exactly who she is. The Lady Kung Fu, the queen of 1970s martial arts cinema, the woman who stood alongside Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon, star of Hapkido, Lady Whirlwind, Broken Oath, training since age 5, traditional training where you condition your shins on wooden posts, practice horse stance until your legs give out, spar with real contact, Taiwan National Arts Academy, Hapkido black belt, no wires, no trampolines, no safety mats in her early films, just pure skill and real athleticism. She sits wrapping her hand wraps, watching younger performers move through backstage. There is something in her expression, thoughtful assessment, a generation gap becoming visible. She watches a young wushu competitor practice a butterfly kick, all flash and rotation, beautiful technique, impressive athleticism. But where is the root? This question has been forming in her mind all weekend, watching mainland performers execute movements that draw gasps and applause, but that feel disconnected from what she learned martial arts was supposed to be. 30 feet away stands Jet Li, 20 years old, 5 feet 7 inches, 140 pounds, wearing the red and gold uniform of the Chinese national wushu team. He has just finished his exhibition, a staff form that drew sustained applause. 5-time national champion, the youngest person ever to win the All-China Wushu Championship. Training since age 8 at Beijing Wushu Academy, his body turned into a precision instrument for competitive martial arts. Modern Wushu, the evolution of traditional Kung Fu into standardized competitive sport, athletic, beautiful, technically demanding, but different from what came before. The political context hangs in the air, unspoken but present. This is 1983. Mainland China and Taiwan relations are complicated, tense. Martial arts is one of the few spaces where cultural exchange can happen. But even here, there are tensions. Mainland wushu is often viewed in Taiwan as propaganda. Beautiful performances showcasing communist cultural superiority. Accusations that it lacks depth, traditional foundation, that it is gymnastics wearing a martial arts costume. All show, no substance. Angela has heard these criticisms from colleagues in Hong Kong and Taiwan film industry, from traditional masters who view modern wushu with suspicion. Watching Jet Li move through backstage, seeing the precision and polish, she wonders, is this young man real, or a carefully constructed propaganda piece? Among the 30 people backstage are several whose presence makes this moment significant. 3 members of the Taiwan Traditional Martial Arts Association, 2 Hong Kong film producers scouting talent, Korean Taekwondo demonstrators, Japanese karate practitioners, younger Taiwanese wushu students caught between generations. One Hong Kong producer leans toward Angela, speaking in Cantonese. She listens, nods slowly, then stands. She walks across backstage with quiet confidence. People notice. Conversations pause. She approaches Jet Li, who is drinking water, his staff resting against the wall. She speaks in Mandarin, respectful but direct. Jet Li, your performance was very impressive, very beautiful, excellent technique. Jet Li turns, recognizes her immediately, bows slightly. Miss Mao, thank you. It is an honor to meet you. I have watched your films. You are a legend. Angela nods, but her expression does not soften. I appreciate that, but I want to ask you something. I hope you will not take offense. A professional question, generation to generation. Of course, please ask. You are very talented. Modern wushu has produced incredible athletes. Your forms are perfect. But I have a question. Have you trained the traditional way, or only the competition way? The backstage has gone quieter. People nearby have stopped conversations to listen. This is Angela Mao asking Jet Li a question that cuts to the heart of a simmering debate. Jet Li does not react defensively. I have trained primarily in modern wushu since age 8. Competition forms, standardized curriculum. But my teachers emphasized foundation. We trained basics for years before advanced techniques, stances, conditioning, repetition. So I believe I have some traditional foundation, but I understand your question. Modern wushu is different. Angela nods slowly. Different is not wrong. But I am curious about one thing. My generation trained sensitivity, contact training. We learned to feel an opponent's intention, not just see it. Wing Chun has Chi Sao, sticking hands. It develops reflexes forms training cannot. I am wondering, has modern wushu kept that element, or lost it in the focus on individual performance? Jet Li understands what she is really asking, whether he is just flash. Beautiful performance with no practical skill. I have trained some Chi Sao. Not my primary focus, but I have worked with masters who taught those methods. I respect them. Angela unfolds her arms. Then let me make a suggestion. Not a challenge, a test. For my own curiosity and to satisfy questions others here have been asking, there are people who wonder if modern mainland wushu has real depth. I would like to test your sensitivity. Chi Sao. Not light demonstration, real pressure. If you have trained traditionally, you will feel comfortable. If only air techniques, you will feel the difference immediately. Are you willing? The room is very quiet now. Hong Kong producers watching intently. Taiwanese masters moved closer. Performers stopped packing bags. This is not scheduled program. A private moment becoming public. A test that will validate or expose. Jet Li looks at Angela Mao. 17 years separate them. Different training backgrounds. Different eras. He could decline. Say he is tired. No one would fault him. But he does not decline. I am willing. I would be honored to train with you, even briefly. Angela asks for the equipment room to be cleared. Word spreads faster. By the time they walk into the equipment room, a small space about 20 by 15 feet with concrete walls and rubber mats, there are 28 people gathered. No one invited, but no one turned away. This is the kind of moment people will talk about later. The room is sparse, stacked chairs, wooden weapon racks, heavy bags hanging from ceiling beams, harsh fluorescent lights, not a stage. No audience to perform for, just concrete, rubber, and witnesses. Angela removes her shoes. Jet Li does the same. They face each other, about 4 feet apart. Chi Sao is about sensitivity, not strength. We connect forearms and maintain contact while moving. Goal is to feel intention before it becomes action. I will apply pressure. You respond. We are not trying to hurt each other. We are testing foundation, root, and reflex. Understand? I understand. They raise their arms. Angela's right connects with Jet Li's left at the forearm. Light contact at first. They begin to move. Small circular motions. Rolling. Basic Chi Sao pattern. Maintaining contact. Feeling energy, pressure, intention. For 10 seconds. Smooth. Cooperative. Angela testing how Jet Li moves, whether he understands principle. He does. His arm stays connected, structure decent, not collapsing under pressure. But then Angela increases pressure. Subtle shift. She presses forward, testing his root, stance, ability to redirect force without losing balance. Jet Li feels the change immediately. Different from forms, different from solo practice. Another human applying real force, real intention, his body responding in real time without choreography. He adjusts stance, sinks weight slightly, tries to redirect her pressure to the side. Angela follows, adapts, presses from different angle, testing multiple lines of force, high, low, circular, direct. Jet Li responds, but watchers see something. He is fast, excellent reflexes, but thinking. Tiny delay between feeling her pressure and responding. Fraction of a second where brain processes instead of body reacting instinctively. Angela increases pressure again, force that would push most people backward, make them step, break structure. Jet Li's stance holds, but upper body leans back slightly to compensate. His root is not as deep as hers. She is 37, half his weight, but her foundation is immovable. 15 years of traditional horse stance training. She presses forward. Jet Li has to step back half a step to maintain balance, not collapse, but visible concession of space. But then something shifts. Jet Li stops trying to match her pressure directly. He changes approach. Instead of force with force, he begins using speed. Wushu speed. Rapid hand transitions modern training emphasizes. Changes angles quickly, redirects her arm, moves to outside of her structure. Angela feels it, adapts. But for a moment, Jet Li has created space, shifted dynamic. He is combining modern wushu principles, speed and angle changes, with traditional chi sao structure. Hybrid, not textbook classical, but effective. Watchers see the shift. Taiwanese masters exchange glances. Hong Kong producers lean forward. No longer just a test, a conversation between two martial arts philosophies happening through physical contact. Angela presses again, different rhythm. Not just testing strength now, testing whether Jet Li can read changes in tempo, slow pressure, then sudden fast. He adapts, not perfectly. Moments where he is half a second behind, but does not collapse, does not lose connection, and more importantly, learning in real time. Every second giving him more information, understanding. 20 seconds have passed. Angela releases pressure, steps back, drops her arms. Jet Li does same, both breathing slightly harder, not from exhaustion, but intense focus required. Room completely silent. Everyone waiting to hear what Angela will say. She looks at Jet Li for a long moment, expression unreadable, then nods slowly. You have the root. Not as deep as traditional training would give, but it is there. You felt my pressure and adapted. Modern wushu has not made you shallow. You have done your homework. Jet Li bows respectfully. Thank you, Miss Mao. That was a valuable lesson. I felt the difference between my training and yours. Your structure is much stronger than mine. Angela shakes her head slightly. My structure is older. Yours is faster. Different generations, different emphasis. But the foundation is there. That is what matters. She turns to address the people gathered, raising her voice. I asked this question because many in our community have concerns about modern wushu. They say it is performance without substance. I wanted to test that myself. What I found is that modern does not mean fake. This young man has speed and foundation. Different training, but real skill. We should not dismiss the new generation simply because they train differently than we did. One Taiwanese traditional master steps forward, gray hair, traditional Chinese jacket. He speaks respectfully but firm. Miss Mao, we appreciate your assessment, but 20 seconds of Chi Sao is limited. In traditional training, we test much longer. Under fatigue, multiple pressures. How can you be certain after such brief exchange? Angela faces him directly. Because I have been doing this for 32 years. I know what I am feeling. In those 20 seconds, I tested his route, structure, adaptability, and learning speed. He has all those elements. Are they as refined as someone who trained exclusively traditional methods for 20 years? No, but they are real. And more importantly, he has something many traditional practitioners lack. No ego about learning. He adapted in real time. That tells me more than an hour of testing would. The master nods slowly, does not argue further. Angela's reputation carries weight. One Hong Kong producer speaks up in Cantonese. Angela, we have been talking about this all weekend. Mainland performers are impressive, but we have been hesitant. Political complications, different training methods. But if you are saying this young man is legitimate, that changes our perspective. Would you work with him? Recommend him? Angela glances at Jet Li, then back. I would. He needs more traditional training, more contact work, more pressure testing, but he has raw material. If someone invests time to round out his training, he could be exceptional, not just as performer, as complete martial artist. Jet Li has been standing quietly, listening to this conversation about him in third person. Miss Mao, if you would be willing to teach me, even a little, I would be grateful. I understand modern wushu has limitations. I want to learn what I am missing. Angela studies him, shakes her head slightly. I am not teaching regularly anymore. My film career is winding down, but I can point you to people who can help. Traditional masters in Hong Kong who would work with you if I make introductions. And I will tell you something my teacher told me. Beautiful technique is the beginning, not the end. Real martial arts is about pressure, adaptation, and understanding human mechanics under stress. Never stop testing yourself against resistance. The moment you only train with air and cooperative partners is the moment you stop being a martial artist and become a dancer. Jet Li bows deeply. I will remember that. Thank you. The crowd disperses slowly. Moment is over. People return to packing equipment, changing, making evening plans. But conversations over the next hour are all about what just happened. Angela Mao tested Jet Li. She said he has foundation. She said modern wushu is not fake. He held structure. He adapted. She said he is legitimate. The story spreads through backstage, then into hallways, then into taxis and restaurants. 3 months later, Angela makes a phone call to a Hong Kong producer she has worked with for years. She recommends Jet Li for a project, tells them he is worth the political complications, worth the investment. That phone call is part of the chain of events that eventually leads to Jet Li's first Hong Kong film contract. The path from Beijing wushu champion to international action star does not happen overnight, but this moment in Taipei, this 20-second test in a backstage equipment room, is one of the small, critical points where doors open instead of close. Years later, in a 1990 interview with a Hong Kong martial arts magazine, Angela is asked about changing martial arts cinema landscape. Whether modern performers have same skill as old generation. Angela's answer is careful. She talks about different training methods, different emphases, different strengths, then mentions, almost as a side, a moment in Taipei in 1983 when she tested a young mainland wushu champion. I was skeptical. I thought modern wushu was all show. But that young man changed my mind. He had speed I had never seen, but also foundation. He proved to me the new generation is not shallow. They are just different. And if old generation and new generation can learn from each other, martial arts will continue to evolve instead of stagnate. The interviewer asks who the young man was. Angela smiles. Jet Li. He was 20 years old. Nobody in Hong Kong knew who he was yet. but I knew he would be important. You could feel it. Not just in his technique, but in his attitude. He wanted to learn. He wanted to be tested. That is the mark of a real martial artist, not someone satisfied with what they already know, but someone always looking for gaps, weaknesses, areas where they can improve. Back in that equipment room in Taipei, November 12, 1983, neither Angela Mao nor Jet Li knows what will come next. They do not know Jet Li will become one of the biggest action stars in the world. They do not know Angela's film career will end within a few years as the industry shifts. They do not know this moment will be remembered in martial arts schools across Asia. All they know in that moment is that two people from different generations, different training backgrounds, different philosophies, found common ground, not through argument or competition, but through physical contact, through honesty of pressure and response, through the kind of test that cannot lie. 28 witnesses, 20 seconds of contact. One question answered. Modern wushu is not fake. The new generation has substance, and the bridge between old and new is not built with words, but with respect, humility, and the willingness to be tested.